girl was able to write her own name when she was just 1 month old, but instead of being proud of it, her mother erased the letters with a look of disgust. The father is more biased towards boys, and when he saw that it was a girl, he left without looking back. On the day I was discharged from the hospital, let alone holding the baby, I felt it was difficult to carry her around. I kept complaining along the way that it cost so much money to have a daughter. When getting in the car, he threw his daughter directly into the trunk. Then he drove the shabby second-hand car and let the child experience the roller coaster in advance. After getting off the car, the whole family went into the house, but the baby was forgotten in the car. What kind of parents are these? It's really sad and sighing. But Matilda is very smart. She can wash herself when she was 1 year old, and she learned to dress herself at the age of 2. At the age of 4, she had to start living independently. Dad was busy selling second-hand cars. Mom dressed up to play cards, and her brother went to school, leaving Matilda at home to fend for herself. When she was hungry, she made her own food. She beat 2 rooster eggs with ease, then added a spoonful of cake flour, stirred them evenly, and then fried them at high temperature. Then a plate of waffles was freshly baked. Eating the delicious food she made by herself and reading her favorite magazines were the happy moments in Matilda's heart. However, she had read all the magazines at home, and her thirst for knowledge drove her to muster up the courage to ask her father to buy books. Unexpectedly, her maverick father thought that watching TV was so interesting and could also help her learn, so why should she be obsessed with books? Her brother was even more impatient and pushed her aside, fearing that he would miss a moment of TV time. Matilda did not cry, because she knew that she could not rely on anyone in this family, and she could only fight for what she wanted by herself. The next day, when her parents went to work, Matilda opened the phone book and found the address of the library. Although it was 10 kilometers away from home, it could not stop her from loving to read. When she arrived at the library, she politely asked the administrator and then went straight to the children's book section. The administrator couldn't help wondering why this cute little girl was alone without her parents. This was the first time the administrator had seen such a scene. Matilda didn't need anyone's care. She sat quietly on the sofa alone, immersed in the sea of books. This was her greatest joy. Since she found the way to the library, Matilda has been reading eagerly every day, one book after another, absorbing the knowledge she needs from the books. Soon she had finished reading the children's books, and she began to look for books in other fields. The administrator, who had been paying attention to Matilda for several months, was deeply moved by her spirit of learning. He made an exception and applied for a library card for her, so that she could take the books home to read, saving the time of going back and forth.